Okay, EM Fresh here, I'm back again. I'm going to show you my upgraded Turbo Levo. I turned a $5,000 Turbo Levo into a $11,000 Turbo Levo. Okay, this is how I did it. Okay, first off, I upgraded the fork. Okay, the stock fork was a revelation. It was okay, but it didn't. I bottomed out and all the time. It was just. I would say it's a horrible shock now, or horrible fork shock now, because I now have this one. It's just night and day, night and day. There is no comparison. And this fork is called a Zeb Ultimate. So it's I think it's the best fork you can get. That's not a downhill bike fork for the and the RockShox lineup. And so that's the first upgrade. I'm going to tell you what the travel is in a second, but I can't do that unless I can't do that unless I show you the whole thing first, and I'll tell you why the components are the way they are. All right. So the next thing I got, system I got, was I changed the stock shock out, so that dinky little shock that Specialized puts on it, to a Bomber CR. Okay, and it just transformed my ride. I would have bottomed out in the Specialized, on the stock one. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's a Monarch or something like that. You can only put 270 PSI in it or whatever. I mean, I'm already, I bottomed out. I could hear had that shock just a smoking and screaming. Okay, but so this is a coil shock, 700 pounds. I had to get it tuned to my weight, and there's a site called tiatune.com. It took them a while to get it because they had to make the coil for my weight, and so it's a 700 pounds. Okay, so that would hold my weight from from 220 to 250 pound rider for this particular shock, coil shock. Okay, and I put it on myself too, which is a pain in the ass. But then, in order to put this coil on, I had to change the progression. And there's a site called Bike Yoke. And so what it did is the stock travel. Okay. The stock travel on the Turbo Levo, 2018 Turbo Levo, was I think 135 millimeters in the rear. Okay, and then the front, it came with I think 150 millimeter fork. Okay, so by installing the bike yoke, all right, I was able to raises the travel progression and the travel to 140. Okay, that allowed me to be able to run a 160 Zeb in the front. So I have 160 in the back, or 160 in the front, and 140 in the back. And man, it makes a big difference. I tell you, I do not feel a thing when I'm riding. It drops, everything. I'm talking about the worst bumps. Okay, bumps, but I could drop off of anything. This thing's a freaking monster. Okay, so the next upgrade I have, I put a AXS system in it, the electronic dropper post, or AXS reverb. It doesn't have any wires. It's a wireless dropper post. Okay. All right. So you press the little wireless dropper post here. Uh-oh. My battery must have died, maybe. Uh-oh. Maybe I disconnected it. Oh. I think that's what, it's already down. That's why. Okay. All right, let me see. There we go. It didn't work because I had it already up, so it wouldn't work. Let me push it back down. There we go. All right, so it's a wire. There's no wires coming from this. Okay. All right. And you may ask, Russell, why did you get a wireless dropper post? One, I hated taking it to the repair shop because I go through some dropper posts. I break them things, man. And so this one is really, really sturdy. That Fox transfer and all that, the little dinky dropper post with the flexible like stanchion on it. This is a stanchion. This thing is like made out of freaking tons and tons of, I don't know what happened. It's just really, really sturdy, or rigid, what they call it. And so it does not bend or buckle. And for the price, it better not. Because I think it was like $800 or something like that. It's crazy. But I was tired of my dropper post breaking. And then I didn't have to leave in the shop for 2 weeks for them just to change my dropper post out. So it's still going. I had it, I think I was an early adopter, so I had it probably, I had it for a long time. I had another bike, but I had, see, the cool thing, you move from bike to bike, you know, if you need to, so without having to rewire anything. And it's really fast, as you can see. All right, so that's the AXS. And then another thing I did, they just come out with a wireless gear shifter, wireless cassette changer. So this is the AXS. You can't really see, it's kind of dark, sorry about that. It's a AXS GX. It's only $600 compared to my high towers. It was $1,000. I think it's because the high towers is carbon, I believe, and very light. And this is more heavier, which is a good thing for this bike because when you hit stuff, it's just a heavy bike, you know. It's a e-bike, you know, a pedal assist bike, so it can take more hits, you know, if need be. I never hit it or anything, but anyway, it's a wireless shifter. So got a spider on me. Okay, so there's no wires running down through the no wires running through the tube or anything. It's just, I don't know how they connect it so fast, but I can hit it here. You can see it moving. See? See a little light come on. All right. Man, it's like awesome. It switches so fast, like, and I'm riding. My chains never come off or anything. When you get it, it automatically. It's pretty much set already from the get-go. Okay. Anyway, wireless gear shifter and cassette, no cable. All right. And then next upgrade I made is I put a, I guess the Eagle 52. So even though this bike doesn't need it, but I just went overkill. This is a 52 cog, Eagle cog. So it allows you to climb up steeper hills a lot easier. And then another thing I did, since it does climb easier, I started to spin out because it provides, the motor has so much torque in it. And so I upped the chain ring to 38T, the max you can put on the Turbo Levo. I have a chain guide for it, I never put it in, but don't really need it. Okay. So got some red pedals to match the red on the shock. You know, it's kind of like kind of mismatched. And then some red bolts here, chain ring bolts. Gold chain, gold cassette, and I believe that. Oh, and also here, I try to bling out my stem there. And so that's basically it. So this is a beast. I love it to death. I was gonna buy a new one, but they're just way, way too expensive, and for my weight, I have to get new tires anyway. So the ones they ship you the crap, especially Specialized. You pay an $11,000, they ship you the crappiest tires and hubs ever. You know, for a light person that might work for you, but I will strip the hell out of a fucking hub. Like, I think my legs are so powerful, like when I'm pedaling, and just strips them. And so the only hubs I was able that hasn't stripped, I haven't tried Industry 9 yet, but it's a DT Swiss. This is I think a 52T, 55T on the back. Also installed Crisp core in here, and then I have the best Specialized tires you can get. I think they were almost $110 a tire with the COVID, you know, They're the Butcher Grid T9s. These things are solid. Solid. And the Butcher, I think T9 in the back, I think it's a different size. Yeah, they're both T9s, okay. And it's on another level here. You got the seat, you got a little smaller seat with a little hole in the middle so you don't bust your balls in there or whatever. It's nice and comfortable. Not really comfortable, it's more agile, more out of the way. So I mean, that's basically, I don't think I put anything else in here that you should know about. Okay, so that is my 2018 Turbo Levo upgrade. So it was clickbait, I'm sorry, but I mean, this bike is just as fast as the newer ones. Maybe not as powerful, they have the wattage, you can go longer, but I mean, you know, I only ride for 3 hours anyway. And this battery lasts 3 hours easily in the mountain. You know, I rode on the rail trail where it's just completely flat, and I can go, I think, 40 miles, like on full turbo, as fast as I can go. Oh, another point to note thing that I did to this bike too, the motor, if you're having trouble with your Turbo Levo and you have an older version, and even newer versions, you have to de-restrict it because I believe it overheats or something and it burns components up. That's what I'm doing, because I had to replace 2 motors on this, and when I de-restricted it, with a 2018 or early, you can do it yourself with the Bluetooth app, take the 20 mile per hour limit off, and man, I go fast. I go almost 45 miles an hour. Like, man, it's just unbelievable, like on a straightaway anyway. So yeah, you de-restrict your Levo, and I believe you can get a, if you're tech savvy, I wouldn't try it, but you know, if you have an old like 2020 Levo or something and you can get it for a deal, I would contact the Italians and get the one. Actually, I believe it's engineer who made the Levo, release an aftermarket, and you can de-restrict your higher wattage, like 700 watts. I bet you'll be going really fast. But I mean, you can only go so fast, you know, on the trail. So, I mean, I barely go 16, 20 miles an hour on the trail. That, you know, up the hills is what it's really for. Up the hills is what the Levo is for. Like, just definitely save your legs. And you still got to pedal. I mean, your heart rate goes. You know, I can maintain a consistent like 150 heart rate instead of spiking it to 180, 200. You know, chasing after you 150-pound dudes. Okay, so. All right, but that's it. Stay tuned for more videos. Click subscribe if you like what I'm saying. You want to see more videos. You're gonna see them anyway, so I'm gonna release them anyway. So there you have it.